even going back to the eminent Pandit Ravi Shankar in the 70s, down to Bollywood today, we have felt, we are heard, we are noticed. A presence is already out there. But it's corporate India now that needs to take it one step further. And this is essentially what I feel, in my personal opinion and humble opinion, is lacking. That strength, that confidence to draw upon that we are Indian. And that message should be there before you walk into the room, that we are proud of what we are. Being the words made in India has to mean something. A Swiss watch speaks volumes. Even we know what it is. Swiss made, Swiss watch. It speaks of craftsmanship. It speaks of precision. It speaks of technique. And it sells itself. What does made in India mean? This is what we have to define. Global leadership, ladies and gentlemen, is not about changing the world. It's not even about the India collectively investing $7.5 billion in acquisitions, as my eminent Mr. Madras said earlier, Mahapatra said earlier. It's more about us needing to go beyond that. And if we want to be a global presence, then we need to basically also be globally seen and felt. Until the world comes to India, it's going to be very hard for India to go out to the world also. It's not as if we are tourist friendly, for instance. We're not there as of yet. There are more hotels in the city of Bangkok than it is throughout the entire subcontinent of India. As simple as that. The volume of tourists going through just Bangkok alone is a multiple of 10 times of what comes into India, if not more. India has to welcome the world, not just in terms of tourism, but also in terms of business, in terms of being able to believe enough in what we are and what we can do. We're not going to be able to do that until we match them here at home. That confidence can only come when they come here just as much as we go out. If we want to go out and basically conquer the planet and want to be felt in every country we go into, then we have to be able to match them here, right now. And that means being able to open our doors, welcome them. That is, the strength is not in. Protectionism has never worked. It has never worked. China learned that lesson brutally. They stayed for 5 decades built behind a bamboo curtain. And that basically led us to the point where they recognized that something has to be done. It has to be done that's radically different. And they changed. And we need to have the strength of character to do exactly the same thing. We need to change. I actually grew up in awe of India. I was born, a couple of thousand kilometers from here, across the other side of the Indian Ocean. And as a child, India to me was a colorful, imaginary, powerful place. India to me was a land of grandeur, of ancient temples, of mystical landscapes, of the Ganges, of the Himalayas, the beauty of which I still stand in awe of today. As I sat, listening to my grandparents talk about India, my dad speak of Gandhi and Vivekananda, of the great eminent sages that have walked through this land. I grew up with a tremendous awe and respect for this land. It helped me make me into who I am today. I was proud, and I remain proud, to be able to say that I am from India. I had not set eyes on this land till I was about 12 years of age. And I arrived here on a ship. It was called the MSS Chidambaram, and I landed in Chennai. It was my first glimpse of India. But I looked past the rubbish on this, the docklands is not the best place to arrive in India in the 70s. But I looked past all of the, stench and rubbish and everything else that, was in front of me. And the thing that amazed me was to look around and see that for the first time in my life, I felt, wow, there's a lot of us out here. See, you must understand, I'm coming from Malaysia. We are about 12% of the population at best. And I grew up in a part of Malaysia which is on a rural east coast where there's far less than that. In fact, to see another Indian was a wonderful thing. We always smile when we see each other because we are so rare, and there's a bond. But to arrive in Chennai and see so many, taking a look around and turn back to my dad and say, wow, they all look like us. And I'm still proud of that every single time I come to India. And I believe in this great land of Gandhi, of Radhakrishnan, of Vivekananda, of Guru Nanak, of Kabir, of Shah Jahan and Akbar, of Ashoka, of Lord Buddha himself. Such eminent personalities have come and walked on this earth that we today share together. I say to you, please, respect this land, for it is truly great. We can use this in becoming greater. I would like to share with you a very simple poem which I read many years ago, and I'm sure many of you are aware of and heard in college and heard many times. I apologize for having to repeat this again, but please indulge me for a few minutes because it says everything that I wish to say. It is from the eminent Sir Rabindranath Tagore. It goes, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way. Into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. And Tagore's words hold more true today than they ever did. And in closing, I would like to share with you a speech that I gave. It was only a few minutes to celebrate India's independence 3 years ago. And it stands true today because I began by telling the crowd, when India awakes, this planet will tremble. Indianness is a spirit, and it lends itself to a myriad of interpretations, from banal inanities to world-class achievements. But the essence of the spirit is captured in the lyric, Sare Jahan Se Acha, Hindustan Hamara. Whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you are, be proud of being Indian. The wars of today are won and lost long before even a single shot is fired. The real power today is economic strength. Iraq, Afghanistan had been lost long before the advent of troops. The troops merely helped to complete the debacle. The mighty Soviet Union, with its numerous satellite states, fell without a single